What up, y'all? Welcome back once again to the Boys channel. You already know who it is, back with another video. This one isn't so much a trailer reaction, but just something that caught my eye as I was scrolling, and I wanted to do a reaction to it because it's something I wanted to talk about. This is the How Barnes& Noble made a comeback by revitalizing its philosophy. Now, before I get into this video, a lot of y'all probably already know that physical media has been dying over the last 15 years, at least by my count. Um, Digital media has been going up, especially when it comes to physical books. Everybody got smartphones, everybody got a tablet, so you can practically read everything on your smartphone or your tablet. So let's check out this video and see exactly what Barnes& Noble has been doing to revitalize the business of physical media. Let's go.
Barnes & Noble opened nearly 60 stores around the country and plans for 60 more to open in 2025. It's the latest twist in a long-running saga for a company that's been a bellwether for the book business. Plans for 60 more to open in 2025. It's the latest twist in a long-running
60 stores in 2025. Just sit back and think about that for a quick second. 60 stores in 2025. That's unheard of. I mean, you still got banned books. You still got half price books. What was the other one? Rest in Peace to Borders books. I used to spend a lot of time going there when they're in the mall. But 60 bookstores in 2025. That's insane. Let's continue.
Saga for a company that's been a bellwether for the book business. Senior arts correspondent Jeffrey Brown continues our ongoing reporting on the book industry, part of our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
It's recognizably Barnes & Noble because there are lots and lots of books piled high, but it looks very different.
A pre-opening walk through a Barnes & Noble bookstore, a maze of small rooms and pathways, with company CEO James Daunt.
When you're very full, as this store often will be, it's creating space for people to drop into.
This store on Manhattan's Upper East Side is just a year old. It's part of a large nationwide chain, but crucially for Daunt, has its own look and feel.
The key insight that I have is that it is about the book-selling team, and it's about how you take all of this huge number of books and arrange them and display them in a manner which really engages with your local community. The insight that gives me in terms of running lots of bookstores is leave it to the teams in each store. The vast majority of them will do it exceptionally well, and your stores will become better and busier and the business will thrive.
Barnes & Noble's beginnings.
There's something I did want to point out. I know a lot of stores have been remodeled recently. I have not been in any of the remodeled ones. I've seen pictures and it looks pretty wild just because I'm used to the old style look. All the stores that I've been to around me have still the old style look. So to see the new look, it looks crazy. It's just my 2 cents.
Can be traced to 1873, but it was in 1971 that Leonard Riggio acquired its trade name and flagship Manhattan store, and grew the company into the nation's largest bookseller, offering steep discounts and a huge selection, changing the landscape for how and where Americans bought books, eventually with more than 700 superstores, all with the same titles and design.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We don't want this superstore.
Its success, along with Borders, put hundreds of smaller independents out of business, captured in Nora Ephron's 1998 film, You've Got Mail.
Can we save the shop around the corner?
But Amazon, offering even steeper discounts and more supply, nearly killed off Barnes & Noble, which by the time Daunt...
Me personally, I'm going to say this. I'm an in-store shopper, okay? I like shopping in stores more than I shop online. I would say about 95% of me is an in-store shopper. The other 5% is online shopper. Especially when it comes to like books and things like that, physical media, I want to get it in stores unless I cannot. Then I get it online.
arrived had closed hundreds of stores around the country.
Obviously, we've come back from the brink.
The brink meaning the end?
Yes, I mean, the business was a public company. It was sold really pretty much for the value of the books that were sitting on its shelves. So that's not a really very good sign of health. The job that I had was to restore it as a bookseller.
Daunt brought an unusual pedigree. He'd launched Daunt Books in 1990 as an independent bookseller in a gorgeous London setting that became a destination for book lovers. In 2011, he was hired to rescue Waterstones, Britain's largest chain bookstore, then near bankruptcy. And in 2019, after hedge fund company Elliott Advisors bought Barnes & Noble to attempt the same here. His success has gained attention, as in recent years, Barnes & Noble began to open stores all over the country, even reopening a flagship Washington, D.C. store that had closed in 2012. The new philosophy: have stores act and feel like an independent local shop. Victoria Hardy, assistant manager at this Upper West Side Manhattan store, has worked for Barnes & Noble for more than 10 years.
We used to be told what table to do, how to curate it, where that table should go, what angle that table should be on, and what discount that table potentially is going to have.
Angle of?
Angle of the table. So it was very, very regimented. There was no thought. It might do a little better if we put Norwegian wood on.
These days, Hardy and her counterparts see themselves as curators of individual tables and shelves, as well as the store itself, paying more attention to local consumers and to social media, most of all TikTok's Book Talk.
It was a lot of young readers, almost this generation that was coming into physical bookstores looking for books. So what I started to do with that was look at those titles, like what they were coming in for, and how do you take that one title and curate a display around it? Like what are those books that are similar, pairing them together and creating a bigger display from it?
So fervent in his approach is Daunt that he makes Amazon, which today accounts for more than 50% of the market, sound like an ally.
I actually see Amazon as being a massive positive for what it is to be a great bookseller.
How can it be a massive positive if it's taking 50% of the market?
What it's taken is all the boring books out of our stores. We used to have great, huge medical sections that taught doctors and nurses and all the other professionals. But those books are very boring. No more. You go on to Amazon, bump, fit, arrives through your letterbox 3 minutes later.
But surely people go to Amazon for more than just what you're calling the boring books.
Of course they do, and you know, if you buy Pastoral Everett's James from Amazon, it's the same Pastoral Everett I'll sell you. But if you come into this store to buy it, you will come in, you'll be surrounded by other books, which you can browse and engage with. Almost certainly you'll have a fellow customer saying, oh, have you read this by him? Have you read that? You will have an experience, and when you walk out of the store with it in your bag, it will lift you. It's the same book, but I promise you it's a better book, and the reading of it will be more pleasurable because you bought it in a bookstore.
That strategy applies to the nation's independent bookstores too, of course. In fact, Barnes & Noble recently acquired one of them, Denver's much-loved but bankrupt Tattered Cover, a move being watched closely locally and beyond. Daunt says this.
Bookstores get into trouble. What we now do as a chain is we rescue them. We give them a safe home. We don't change them. We don't change the people. We don't change the name. But we give them the structure of the large chain.
An earlier plot line in this long saga was Barnes & Noble is killing independence. Now they can coexist?
I think bookstores do coexist. I mean, my instincts are that of an independent bookseller. I would never open up in a location where I believed that I was threatening an independent bookseller ever, because that's totally unnecessary. We're in this vast country of ours with far too few bookstores. So, but it isn't a zero-sum game.
It is a business, though, and Daunt has to answer to the company's owners. The plot of this story, that is still being written. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeffrey Brown in New York.
All right, Jess. Well, that's it. For me, I'd rather go to the store and buy a book than buy it online, just for the simple fact that I just don't want to have to try and get it online, wait for a day or two to get here, and then have to go through all the trouble of it getting to my house or getting shipped to the wrong address. That's one of the other reasons I'd rather shop in store. But I do like the idea that they're opening more stores rather than closing. So post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think about this, and I'll check in my next video. 2,000 subs. Peace. I'm out.